right.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Clark, excited to be here today. And we're always excited to have one of our amazing friends and rock star sponsors. You may know him from seeing some t-shirts where it says, "Are you effable?" The new podcast, "Are You Effable?" coming out soon. He is doing an amazing job out there for so many real estate entrepreneurs and a ton of our note investing clients and students. It's the man, the myth, the credit hack, the funding hacking, the credit bitch slapping Merrill Chandler, buddy. What's going on this morning, man?
Hey, with an intro like that, come on. How can I fail to not wow your audience when they have such amazing expectations? Right now, I got to fill those shoes. So
I put you up here, buddy, way up. You got to live up to the situation there for you.
I think we because last time we just killed it with the 10 myths, right? Credit myth. Today, we are going to knock it out of the park. I mean, this is welcome to my house. We've got a great series today.
Yeah, I think we're going to, for those that are listening for the first time though, Merrill, why don't you take a couple minutes and just kind of introduce who you are and what CreditSense is?
Yeah. So CreditSense, aka fundinghackers.com, is we help entrepreneurs, real estate investors, business owners find shape their personal business borrower profiles to fit lender guidelines specifically to just get approved. And I got some great news today about us, just CreditSense, because big dollars. We got another credit line and credit card from another bank. Who I apply. I'm teaching everybody what I do because it works for me, right? And so we build fundable personal and business credit profiles. This isn't credit repair. Even if you need some help, we can make sure you get some help on if you have less than perfect credit. But what we focus on is building profiles that a lender looks at. And there was not a single thing. I got 24-hour approvals on both a $25,000 business line, a $25,000 business credit card from Wells Fargo, tier 1 bank, and a $50,000 business line of credit, both of which only report to my business profile, not to my personal. So now I get to, and we'll discuss this, but how many of you do a deal, do stuff, rehab, whatever it is, buy notes, put it on your personal credit, and your credit score plummets? Bad juju. We're going to be talking about some of that today. The idea is to debt shift everything you're doing on the business and put it on your business profile so you're not harming your personal profile, right? And we'll be talking about the goose that lays the golden egg. So
yeah, you guys are doing amazing jobs out there, really helping people optimize and understand the credit game and how to build their profile up or how to clean up their profile. It's not credit repair. We're not talking about this. This is credit optimization. Highly encourage you to go back and listen to the last couple episodes that we've had Merrill on. Just a wealth, many classes in themselves in their hour-long stuff. We try to squeeze as much as we can in these episodes. But let's talk about it. You've got a great list here. Absolutely love what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about this. Our topic today is how to avoid the 8 most fatal funding mistakes almost every real estate investor makes. And let's kick this thing off with number 8.
I was a little off on that one. Okay, so the 8th most fatal funding mistake that almost all real estate investors make is not having the right or a fundable business address. If you are if you are using your home address, you are not going to be fundable for unsecured business lines of credit. Right? You might get a business credit card that reports to your personal, which will screw up your personal profile, but you're not going to get the business lines of credit. Everything we focus on, everything we're about are unsecured, stated income, business lines of credit. I put stated income on my application yesterday, both personal and business revenue. No financials, no nothing, approved. $50,000 out of the gate with Wells Fargo. That's a tier 1 bank. That's not hard money. That's not anything else. That is Wells Fargo. Okay. But my personal and business profile matched what the credit bureaus have and what the business credit bureaus have. If you don't have the right business address, you're not going to be fundable. They're going to look and say, oh, they're not a real business. I don't care if you're making $1 million out of your home. If you use your personal address, if you use a post office box, there's a grade of fundability. We call it, it's red, personal mailbox,
Mailboxes, etc.
Mailbox, etc. That's a yellow. You might get approved, but it's going to be for lower limits. A post office box is a red, and your personal address is a red code, a red flag. The personal mailbox, the mailbox, etc., UPS stores, those are yellow flags. A virtual office is a yellow flag. The orange flag is the personal mailbox, and the green is a brick and mortar. Now, you got to come to, if you want more information about, there are ways around all of this, but we call them funding hacks, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we call it fundinghackers.com. There are funding hacks. We're not hacking bank software. We're hacking insider secrets, insider underwriter secrets, so that you get approved. Just like I did freaking yesterday. You guys are, this is hot off the press. Stated income, business line of credit. 50 grand out of the gate. That's going to grow to 100 grand, just like all the other ones that we teach about. So not having the right business address is going to make you unfundable to one degree or another, depending on the type of address you have. And we have a boot camp. What is it, on the 27th and 28th? That's Saturday and Sunday, right? Yep. 27th and 28th. That boot camp is where we discuss all this and teach you how to stop stepping on these landmines that are blowing up your fundability chances. Anyway.
Right. And then you also have a boot camp. When's the next one after the 27th and 28th one?
It'll probably be the last weekend in August. I don't know what those dates are. It's usually just like in July. It's usually unless there's some holiday in the way or whatever, we usually do the last weekend. So let's just put it out there in August. This is probably going to be the 24th and the 25th in August. It's actually booked. So the 24th and 25th of August. And in this month, it's going to be it'll be the 27th and 28th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things we talked about beforehand, coming back to it's just, having an office somewhere. Like I have an executive suites office, but there's my name, my company is out in the billboard, which it's valuable for me. Absolutely. On my business profile. And there's people that have offices there that are virtual. They come in, but their name is on the sign. So if they need a room or they need a conference room, they can use that as well. That's helpful.
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story that we go into great depth. One of our funding hackers, she applied for unsecured business line of credit. They approved her for $500,000. No docs, no joke, guys. No documentation. In her own words, at the boot camp, you'll hear her tell this story. But they came to the office to verify that they would to have her sign the documents. These guys are already setting. Wells Fargo is setting up my appointment to come by my office, which I have brick and mortar building. They're going to come by my office because that's what determines some of what we get. We had another client who lost $30,000, approved for 50, and got a 20 because he refused to go to. He said, "No, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll come to you." If you can't go to an office, you're going to get less money because that's one of the criteria that allows. Now, there's hacks around all of this. You got to find out how to do it, but it is a fatal funding mistake not having the right business address.
Wow, big thing there. Good stuff there, Lollipop. So let's talk about number 7. Drum roll, please.
Okay. Yeah, number 7 is thinking you can't qualify because you can't go full doc. I go back to Teresa's example. She had full documentation. She was willing to give her taxes, but when she, as you'll hear in her own words, when she submitted the application, they pulled her credit and she said, and they approved her for the $500,000 line. But then she goes, you don't want any of the documentation you asked for? And they said, no, your credit profile is interestingly good. We don't see things like this very often. We also had another gentleman who was told, just a cursory review. We were vetting banks, finding the right partnerships to introduce to our students and funding hackers. And he said, oh yeah, we do business lines of credit, stated income up to 100 grand. But then when they submitted an application, they said, oh no, we don't do stated income. And but knowing the right questions to ask, right? By knowing the right questions to ask, they were saying, yeah, we need full doc. But by pushing the envelope, they said, oh, we just tell everybody to give us full doc because nobody qualifies for stated income, right? So we're always asking for it. For now, and so in our questions, because I was on the phone with this bank manager, we said, so you're saying that most people don't qualify, so you just ask for it up front just to save time, right? Do me a solid. File this under, just go through the process, please. Just do it in stated income, no full doc, no financials, no tax returns. They get, okay, fine, we'll do it because it is technically available. And he got awarded a $30,000 credit line with no doc, because when you shape your personal profile, because you that number 7, thinking you can't qualify because you have to go full doc, so you never even apply. If you put your personal and business credit profile in the shape that they can approve, they'll approve it. But we actually had to battle somebody saying, your document says it's full doc. I mean, you'll do stated income, but you're requiring full doc. I want to try. And so they did, and they awarded it to him because he had a profile that he was able to shape with the things we learned at the boot camp, right? So it was amazing. It is possible. Stated income, and I'll find out what they give me on mine, because I have a spectacular profile, as you can imagine. But I can't wait to see what the Prime Plus is. Prime Plus a half, Prime Plus 2. That's the range right now of what these credit lines. Write a check, do a deal. I get to write a check and do a deal. So that's what the credit lines we encourage our real estate investors, note buyers, to do. So you don't need, the fatal funding mistake is thinking you got to go full doc. Shape your profile the right way. You don't need full doc.
Right. And that really correlates immediately into the number 6 fatal funding miss.
Yep. So that's thinking you know what underwriters are looking for. That's number 6. Thinking you know what underwriters are looking for. You have no clue, right? You didn't know, until we talked here, you didn't know that I'm going to get more money if I let them come and have me sign at my office. They just want to check out a legitimate. Now they'll Google Earth you and see where you are, but when it's time to sign, they want to come to your office. So I can't wait. In fact, I should Facebook Live that signing, so I could use that as a, guys, here is Wells Fargo coming to my office to sign off on another 50 grand, right? So that is legit, guys. You underwriters have a specific. Underwriters, manual underwriting is moving more and more to automatic underwriting. You're going to learn all about that as we talk about it in the boot camp. But underwriters look for, there's what's called the FICO 40. We call it the FICO 40. FICO doesn't call it that. There's 40 characteristics that they measure on your personal profile. And then there's the underwriting metrics that they put on the business profile. You have to know both of those. So that's, I keep saying that I can't possibly tell you in an hour all the things. That's why we're just going through these. But guys, in the boot camp, it's 2 full days of craziness. Imagine this level of energy, this level of tech and funding hacks for 2 full days, right? It's literally 16 hours worth of content. So
one of the best things I've ever been through, one of the things that really opened my eyes to so many things. So yeah, it's well worth it out there, guys. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. So. And it's $100. I mean, $97 to go to for the full weekend, and you can watch it remotely. That's what's awesome, is that in the privacy of your own underwear, pajamas, you can just sit there, watch the entire thing, and it's interactive. It's not like voyeurs only. We answer every single question that is submitted by because this month we're going to have a local audience. We're going to be in Vegas, but we're going to also be, and we only have like, I don't know, 8 seats left there, but online you can attend and we answer every single question after every funding hack we discuss, and there's dozens and dozens of them. After every hack, we discuss it all. So guys, you got to learn what underwriters are looking for. Your mistake, the fatal funding error that you make, is thinking you know what they're looking for when you don't. I just believe me right now, you have no clue, but you can know and change all of your funding opportunities as a result.
Big stuff there. That takes us to the number 5. And this is a big one. I get this question all the time. I should probably do this instead, because people are dropping bombs on themselves right out the gate. Number 5 is what, Merrill? Okay,
number 5, having the wrong business type for funding. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, don't get discouraged, because there's a funding hack for all of these. Okay, we just don't have the time to go through all. Our podcast would literally be 2 days long, and we'd call it a funding hackers boot camp, right? So the whole point is that having the wrong business type for funding. Lenders do not want to fund your deals. They don't want to fund your real estate. They want to fund you. The problem is you walk in and go, I'm a real estate investor. That's a prohibited transaction as defined by the Small Business Administration's funding rules. Remember, SBA sets the rules for lenders, just like all the other ones that the government backs. You have to follow these criteria. Fannie Freddie got them conforming loans because they conform to these rules. No SBA loan ever gets delivered to a real estate investor. Doesn't happen. So guess what? Lenders are not going to do it either. They want to lend to you. They want to lend to the genius behind it. You have to personally guarantee it. I'm personally guaranteeing my new the 75 grand in business credit. You have to personally guarantee it. But the issue is that you think that they're going to fund your real estate entity, your real estate business. So come to the boot camp describes everything about how you can literally set up a funding entity that then you fund all of your deals, but it's separate. It's separate from your asset protection. There's no asset protection required. It is an independent entity that funds all of your deals. And we'll show you how, I'll show you exactly how lenders fund the genius behind it. We've shaped CreditSense exactly the way we tell everybody else to do it, because that's who they fund. They don't want to fund a business. They want to fund the person behind the business. So if you've got the wrong business type, basically, there are hacks around this, guys. Credit, I'm classified as credit repair. Unless I implement these hacks, they wouldn't fund me. Real estate, note buying, they're not going to fund your real estate business. They're going to fund you as an entrepreneur and business owner, and then you get to do your deals. That's none of their business how you use your money.
And it's actually surprisingly, because you also will go into give a little bit of the prohibitive names in your entities, things you don't want to have.
There are red flag words. Yep. When you put those on an application, they deny you out of hand. They're like, oh, we don't even have to look at the address. We don't have to look at anything else. All we have to see is that you have these names in your name. So, and they're all easy hacks, guys, easy fixes. But you gotta know. You gotta know, and that goes into what number 4 is, because that's a big one. Number four, getting denied, your application for business credit being denied because of the application score. Now, first of all, you don't even know that there's an application score. FICO has a dedicated score, an algorithm that measures the difference between what is being presented on your application, all the data points. Just think of them as data points, the data points that are in your application versus the data points that are on your personal and business profiles. Okay. If they're not within 95% of each other, you get a straight denial. 95 to 100%, you get a downgrade in the limits or an increased interest rate. They want the data that they're making, because remember, it's all automatic underwriting. They want the data that they trust, that the credit bureaus have for both personal and business. They want that data to match perfectly what's on your application. Well, you guys don't even know what you're putting on. You just put the truth, today's truth, on the application. That may have a perfect example. Before I knew what I was doing, I did applications under. If they asked for a middle initial, I put Merrill R. If they asked for a middle name, I'd put Merrill Ray. If they didn't, and sometimes I just put Merrill Chandler. So I'd end up there are 29 Merrill Chandlers on the credit bureau databases. Oh, and by the way, Scott, I got to tell you. So I went through and I started looking for Merrill Chandlers all over the place. I have a guy who is executed for killing a prison guard in 1898, who's by the name of Merrill Chandler. I've got his picture and everything. So even in past lifetimes, guys, I've been notorious. So I should
probably make sure you don't have those photos out when Wells Fargo shows up here in a couple of minutes.
Merrill Chandler. I'm also by name. I'm also an emergency surgeon in Contra Costa County Hospital. So you don't know what they're looking for. That's our previous mistake. But on this mistake, if your data doesn't sync up with what the data is on the credit bureaus, you're hosed. You're going to get a denial under 95% and higher interest because you're higher risk or more if it's not 100%. We'll show you how to fix your data points. Again, this is data.
It's almost like taking the SAT. You get 400 points for getting your name spelled right, and you want to make sure your name's spelled right in the right way, right?
Because they won't know how to sync you up with your identity.
Exactly.
It's true.
All right, that brings us into the top three. So number 3 is really kind of a one I think a lot of people screw up on. There are fake credit card offers. So number 3 is chasing fake business credit that destroys your fundability. Okay. Fundability means the ability to be fundable. We don't care about your credit score. Credit score, you'll find out, is 3rd or 4th most important metric used by lenders. The top 2 to 3 have nothing to do with score. They have everything to do with how fundable you are in all these other metrics, right? The FICO 40 and the lender specific guidelines, what they call performance data. Okay. So when you go out right now, American Express, Discover, Capital One, they have a whole grip of credit card offerings that require that ultimately end up reporting on your personal credit. So that means when you use it thinking you're doing something good for your business, it actually changes your utilization, your aging. All of the FICO 40 are affected on your personal, and your personal takes the hit every single time. You can charge it up to 100%, and you're going to have 100% utilization on your personal credit. Your score will plummet, and it sucks. Capital One does not have a business card. I don't care if it says on the statement or on the card itself, business. It's BS, guys, and I would use stronger language if you come to my boot camp. It is straight BS. If it reports to your personal, it is not business credit. It has to report to your personal, to your business side. You got to be careful. The Discover business card is fake. It's a fake business. And half of American Express's offerings are true business and half are fake, meaning they report to your personal. So you've got to know what to look for. You'll find out all of this information, who offers what and how at the boot camp. You got to understand that we call it fake business credit because it ultimately destroys your personal profile. And as we'll learn, the number one, when we get to number 1, you don't want to ruin your personal fundability. So guys, make sure that whatever you're applying for is legit. One of the questions we ask, and I ask it, even though I know Wells Fargo does it,
I ask the banker, this does not report to my personal, correct? They say it pulls an inquiry from your personal, but it does not affect your business, your personal credit profile. There is no reporting unless you go late or collections. So make sure whatever business instruments you're looking for, only report to your personal, and find out more at the Funding Hackers Bootcamp.
And the best website for those listening is what? If they want to go ahead and check that out while they're driving or listening to this.
Fundinghackers.com. Fundinghackers.com. And by the way, Funding Hacker singular and plural both go to the same. We got both URLs. So it doesn't matter if you want to be singular, if you want to be plural. Fundinghacker.com, fundinghackers.com. It all takes you to the place that tells. And there's a video there you can watch about all the things you're going to learn. You're going to see the pack. $97 is our viewing package, right? Come and find out. It's amazing.
Yeah. That takes us to number 2.
Okay. So number 2 is related to number 5, the wrong type of business for funding. The second greatest funding mistake real estate investors make is you think you're your deals. You walk into a room, I'm a real estate investor. No, you're not. You are an entrepreneur who has chosen real estate investing to make your mark in the world and to get out of the W-2 world or to create legacy for your family. You are not a real estate investor. You are a genius behind the business. You are, because guess what? How many of you relate to this question? How many of you have been doing note buying or real estate investing for less than a year? Well, 2 years or 3 years ago, did you think for a second, I'm a real estate investor? No, you didn't. You were looking for ways in which to create your mark in the world. Let's say you've been doing it for 5 years. Well, 10 years ago, did you walk into a room at a cocktail party and go, I'm a real estate investor? No, you didn't. You became a real estate investor 5 years ago, or you started doing real estate investing or note buying 5 years ago. 10 years ago, you did not identify with being a note buyer, real estate investor. That's going to trip you up. That's why it's number 2 in importance. Is it's going to trip you up. You walk into a bank and say, I'm a note investor, and they're going to say, well, thank you for playing. There's the door, because we're not going to give you a dime, right? And 2 years from now, right now, you're calling yourself a note investor. How many of you went to note investing from real estate investing? How many have gone to commercial real estate note buying from single family or personal? What's it called? Single family or yeah. So how many of you don't know you're going to do an Amazon business 2 years from now? You don't know that you're going to be into cold storage facilities, right?
All right, Ted Williams.
You don't know that you're going to be,
whatever.
Gold 2 years from now. So stop identifying with your deals. You are a real estate investor.
You're not a real estate investor.
You are not a real estate investor. You are an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. You are a genius about implementing your way in the world. Mm-hmm. That's your magic. Lenders will fund that. They're not going to fund you identifying with, especially. You cannot identify with your deals, guys. Can't identify with your deals.
It reminds me a lot of what Aaron Young teaches about. You are not the corporation. The corporation is not you.
Correct. Supreme Court. I use this in the boot camp. But the Supreme Court actually said in the early 2000s, corporations, entities are people too, right? They are a separate and distinct being, and you got to treat it that way. Now we'll show you how to have relationships that are extremely profitable with your deal entities, but separate the two, and lenders will love it and they'll fund you.
Exactly. That takes us to the big honcho, the big jefe, the number one reason. It's the biggest mistake almost all real estate investors and entrepreneurs make.
You're killing your funding golden goose, and you don't even know what it is. or you don't even know that you're killing it. You don't know how you're killing it. So let me spend just a second on this one, because guys, it is crazy. Your funding golden goose is your personal credit profile, even for all your business credit instruments, business loans, business lines of credit. We have a personal relationship with FICO. Jessica and I are going to FICO World, our third FICO World in sequence this November. At FICO World, it is 4 days of all of the credit gods, all of the predictive analytic gods coming and talking to us mere mortals about what underwriting criteria are, what safety mechanisms lenders are using, what new inventions or search algorithms that they're using to protect lenders. In fact, for my clients and funding hackers, at the end of this month, we're having a special thing on. There's a new group out there that is just taken the country by storm, and it's called Early Warning Systems. And Early Warning Systems is what lenders use to protect for application fraud and identity fraud. When your application score is between that 95% and 100%, they send you over to Early Warning Systems to find out the truth. What if you just knew what they needed and gave them the truth, and you had 100% application score, and you get approved because they trust that you're who you say you are? It's crazy. So your golden goose, the goose that lays golden eggs, is your personal credit profile. At FICO, we were told by our FICO liaison that 80% of all entrepreneurial and small business lending decisions are based on your personal credit profile. 80% of the decision is based on your personal credit profile. The second, the 20%, they ping your business not for your credit instruments or your credit rating. Paydex score, that go to the boot camp. Paydex is completely dead and dying and dead, because it is not a metric that lenders use. Paydex is not a thing, guys. The small business scoring service from FICO is. Find out more about that. But the point is that 20% is they're finding out what your Dun & Bradstreet data says about your identity and your business. What is your SIC code and your NAICS code? Those are codes that designate the type of fundability you are as a business. When you have real estate investor there, they tell you that you don't get to get money because that's a prohibited group of entity to lend to, and you just get knocked out of the park or knocked out of the running. So 80%, your golden goose is your personal profile. If you optimize that personal profile for funding and you're matching lending criteria, and then you take that to a lender like I just did yesterday, and they say, oh yes, your data matches, we're going to fund you to the tune of 75 grand. So your number one fatal funding error is that you kill your golden goose by going and carrying balances on your personal credit cards, which lowers your score, lowers your fundability, lowers your and ruins your 24-month look back period. More on that at the boot camp. But you don't know you're killing it because you think, I just use my credit. And there is a way to use your personal credit that's actually going to lay golden eggs of business lines of credit and business credit cards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's what we're talking about, guys. Those are the 8 the most fatal funding mistakes, and the way. And then I've given you a super cheap and easy way to, super cheap and super easy to find out how to fix all those, so you can stop stepping on the landmines that's ruining your funding chances, guys.
Good stuff out there. Once again, it's a big top 8 fatal funding myths, flaws, goof ups that people are doing out there. And that's the biggest thing. I've learned so much from Merrill. A lot of our students have learned a lot of stuff from Merrill. Funding Hackers, fundinghackers.com. Go there, get registered. Are the replays included, Merrill, for people that are signed up?
Yes, replays. So the 97 gets you the one-time visit. You get all the materials and the workbooks and everything. You get, if you're online, you download them all. If you're live, we provide the materials there in person. But there's a for $197, you get an entire access for an entire month to all of our previous boot camps, all the way up to for 30 days. So you can go back and mine the hell out of all of the data anytime you want for 30 days. If you go for $29 a month, our subscription, you get for $29, you get every new Funding Hackers boot camp in perpetuity until you cease your and plus you get all of our Facebook lives, all of our trainings, all of our rich content. We have huge amounts of content at Funding Hackers Facebook page, but that page is private. You get it for 30 days for $197, and then you get $29 a month for as long as you want to keep being a funding hacker and playing the game with us and getting all the new content that we do every month.
Yeah, it's a great group. I see a lot of people asking questions and getting answered by your staff. Your staff is very alert and attentive to whether it's questions after the event or during the event that's running live on the Saturday and Sunday. They're very, very attentive. You started off, Brad comes on, and you guys flip and flop a little bit.
When we're out of the state, I do both days, and then when we're in state, we'll switch back and forth.
Yeah, it's great stuff there. Good stuff. So excited, man. You got some big stuff going on. You got a podcast coming out here relatively soon.
Yeah, our launch date is for September 1st for RUFable podcast, and September 1st launch date for final edit, printed, done, ready to order for my book, RUFable.
Yeah, that's so good stuff.
RUFable or just effed.
That's awesome. You got such big stuff coming on. Guys, check it out. fundinghackers.com. Schedule, like you said, you've got one later on in August.
Yep.
Listen to this now. You got one next weekend, next Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday is the 27th to 28th, and I believe it's the 25th and 26th, 24th to 25th. It's the second to last Saturday of August.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Take the opportunity to get signed up now, guys. If you have any issues, let me know. We're glad to. Every once in a while, there's a little twig. So let me know. We're glad to get it over to Jessica, Sky, your whole staff over there, get you all signed up and rock and rolling, brother.
Yeah. And we are, when you go to Funding Hackers right now, it will tell you either call our phone number and talk to Sky. She's our boot camp support, or send an email to bootcamp@fundinghackers.com, because we're down to the wire on registrations. So we're doing all the final registrations are manual before we do the switch over to the August event.
Exactly. Great stuff, man. This is going to be what, your fifth one? Fourth?
No, November, December, January, February, March, April, June, and July. Our eighth
one, man.
Yeah.
Man.
So for $197, you're literally going to get for $197, you're going to get access to all of that for 30 days. And then, of course, $29 a month if you'd like the future ones, etc.
Wow. Great stuff, man. Good stuff. Merrill, as always, thank you, brother. Appreciate it greatly.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Man. So happy to be here.
Hey,
love this guy. Do what he tells you to do, not even going to my boot camp. He is a genius in the what do you call it? The residential and commercial notes business. I send everybody he even says the words notes to Scott. So you guys are listening to the right channel. Make shit happen.
Thanks, man. But the same thing, the best 97 or 197 you can spend is going to be at Merrill's boot camp to really learn how to do that, to grow those lines of credit, to build your profiles, or to protect your profiles is probably the biggest thing initially.
Yeah.
So many people
I want you emailing me saying, yeah, I got my 50, I got my 75, just like I'm. One more. I hate to say it. It never gets old, but it does get repetitive. There you go.
There you go, brother. Well, hey, man, you guys have a great rest of the day. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys later. All right.
All right. Peace.
Thanks, guys. All right, guys. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Have a great day. Go make something happen. Get signed up today, and we'll see you all at the top.